Hello everybody. Made a quick pit stop at the Joliet Historical Society Museum. I know this is hard to, very skinny hallway. We're gonna keep it down the best we can and take as much video as we can. Resource and Discovery Room. And then there's a rock and roll museum right around the corner we'll check out. Joliet Correctional in Bay. So this place owns Joliet Prison as well, which I definitely want to go there and take tons of video of. But these are correctional outfits. This is a tattoo gun made by an inmate. Wild. And this is what you got. This is what you got when you were an inmate at Joliet Correctional Facility. 1900s, the Joliet prison team, baseball prison team. Gas masks and canisters. U.S. Army, obviously. Know a little bit about that. This is how buildings used to look on the outside when people gave a shit. They would put cool things like this on the outside of buildings. Old megaphone from the prison, old CD player, old beat up telephone. We're gonna look at as much stuff as we could. Rooftop terrace. Do not enter, locked from the outside. So I'm guessing you can have a little event up here, which would be pretty nice. Yeah, this would be cool. Joliet Steel Ironworks. We were just there. Shows all the immigrants. Let's see. We're gonna look at as much stuff as possible. Some statues of things. Sandy Sanchez, World War II hero. Building the highway. Interesting, they didn't say who the basketball player was. Underground Railroad hero. Jesse Barfield. I remember him. He used to play baseball. I don't know what significance he has to Illinois. I'm going to have... Oh, he's from Joliet, apparently. The Mother Road. Route 66. Hall of Fame, Gateway of Champions. Art and history postcards, free. We'll take one because it's free. Thank you to all who have served. So if you served in the military and you're from Joliet, I'm sure they'll gladly put you up here. I think that's cool. Here we go. Something that I can get behind. Legacies of War. Current warrant or Chief Warrant Officer Tracy Bostic. I was definitely in combat. We could have been shot down at any time. Interesting. She was from New Lenox. Not sure you can consider that combat, but I'll let her have her flowers for that. Desert Storm. Will County Board member Margie Woods speaking of her son, Specialist Floyd Woods, I'm happy that my son left this town to go and do a job for all America. Most political statement I've ever seen. Corporal Dan Campus. His heroic and timely action inspired all those who observed him and contributed significantly to the accomplishment of the mission. Marine Corps Lieutenant General H.W. Bussey, Jr. Air Medal Citation for Daniel Campus. I'm not going to read that, but you can. Can't be long, the night can't last forever. Now that's a fucking saying. I don't see how it's possible for us to lose this war with the stuff we have. You make all that stuff and leave the rest to us. Not sure what war he is discussing. I'm hoping it was World War II. Sergeant Sader Sandy Sanchez. Silver Star. My tail guns were firing almost the entire time. I'm guessing he was a pilot. The boys have gone. It may not be for long, or it may be forever. Joliet Daily News, April 27th, 1898. Interesting. Civil War soldiers. Colonel Frederick Barlson. Battle of Shiloh, so I'm assuming that is the Civil War. Will County lost over 500 men in the late war. They gave their lives to save the Union. George Woodruff, 15 years ago in 1876. No one wishes for more peace than the warrior, for it is him who must bear the burden of war. Army Sergeant Jeff Crow, Joliet Herald News, 1991. I tend to disagree. I like war. I like it a lot. I think it's necessary. A women's uniform, I'm guessing, from WW Dose. Wish that was a bigger display. Some cool stained glass. Breakdown of the ranking structure of the Illinois 100th Infantry. It says 2012 to 2015. I'm guessing that that's National Guard. Colonel Barlston. I'd like to have that sword. That'd be cool as shit. Whatever is in there. Actual picture of the man with his wife. 20th Illinois. That was definitely Civil War. Yeah, I'm guessing these are all Civil War guys right here. Yeah, the 100th Illinois. That would be a Civil War regiment. Crazy if you look back on, these are all people who fought. It's crazy how you look back on the way wars were fought. People say, oh, there's a revolution coming, there's a civil war coming. And I heard a Green Beret on a podcast say it the best. They'd make it to the edge of town and they wouldn't be able to breathe. It'd be over. Wouldn't be able to march. Don't know what that is. Aerial photograph showing suburban development of the West Side in 1960. Suburban Mixmaster. 1957. Guessing these are old things of the old canals. We'll go down there and we'll get better shots of that. Old cameras, background photographs. Easter egg hunt in 1971. Jesus, it's a lot of people. Washers and dryers and vacuum cleaners, 1950s. I love this shit. I love history. A camera house from 1960s. These are old radios and cameras. This is what they used to look like back in the day. I'm guessing those are microphones from back in the day. Just how people dressed. So either super nice or super basic back in the day. They really did a good job of using every bit of this place. Interesting. Telephone sales. She doesn't look too happy whatsoever. Neither does he. He looks angry. This kid doesn't look happy either. These kids look pissed. Looks like they're trying to play baseball, but this kid's got a hockey puck. $2,438.50 for a brand new Buick. I'd pay that right now. I'd go get you that much in cash if you delivered that car to my house. I got more stained glass. And it said delivered. You can deliver that shit to my house. Every one of the TV things is out of service. Let's see.
On May 25th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy stood before a joint session of Congress and proposed a historic national goal.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. No single space project
That's super cool.
will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration.
Interesting. My feet are as big as moon boots.
And so began a nearly decade-long quest to land a man on the moon. As the Cold War
Of course, I come over here and everything goes out.
The space race between the United States and the Soviet Union thickened. The U.S. space program has struggled.
All right. We started on the top, and let's work our way down. Reserved for law enforcement officers. Yeah, nobody's gonna sit on that bench, right? Interesting, because this is an old building, and the fact that they decided to turn it into like a historical society slash, like a museum is super cool. Art calendars. Let's check this out. You could tell this stuff's old by the smell of this place. Decorative holiday plates. Raggedy Ann and Andy. That's gotta be old. 1918. Jesus. This shit was scary toys back then. You want equal rights, ladies? Here you go. Got your own businesses. You're doing it. All women. Christmas. Running. I don't know what this is. Offset plate sales records. Oh, this is lithographs to a nice little girl. They were making cards, greeting cards, in the P.F. Fallon Company of Joliet. Some pretty cool art. I like art. Been to a few art museums in the day. Adventures of Nip and Tuck. I think that would have a completely different meaning nowadays, with everybody sticking fucking needles in their face like goofballs. I think she was a famous child actress. I can't remember what movie she was in. I could be wrong though. Yeah, they used to make these things all out of leather back in the day. Interesting. Company picnic in the 1920s. Hundreds of women working together. And there's the building. That's a cool painting. The main exhibit gallery. Let's check out these. People getting things in from historical things. Old time pioneers. Joliet's got a lot of history, man. A lot of history. Why is the case covered? Federal law through Native American graves protection, blah, 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 blah. Return of Native American remains. Oh. So this is old Native American stuff. And we're gonna look inside. There ain't shit. Whatever that is, just like an old looking house. But whatever was in there at some point must have been old Native American things from when this area was. See those little teepee things? It was like an old model of that underneath. But I'm sure this place was full of them. Yeah, of Indians. This is cool and old. Do not touch. I went and touched it like an asshole. Stone ashtray. Cigarette box purse made out of cigarette boxes. Using convict labor from the Joliet State Penitentiary. Prisoner's shirt from Statesville. The Hooskow, the big house. Baton from the old days. Some cuffs from the old days. Oh, those one on the right look pretty rough. Old camera. An old outfit. Some, like from Cool Hand Luke. Prison uniform. The stone quarries, this is what they're known for. A lot of the buildings are actually made out of it. This is their high school here. And the Joliet Penitentiary is the same way. They're built out of bricks like that. And Um, yeah, it's super cool. I wish they still did shit like this around here. City of Stone and Steel. Back in the day, they did everything. Steel industry. Look at that. An old iron worker burning with the torch. Super cool. Horseshoes. All sorts of equipment used for who knows. And here you go. This is telling you what all this is for. I'm not going to go through it all. Old oil can. An old lunch pail from the old workers. A lantern. So this is when they dug out the canal. Obviously this is the water line up here. This is the bottom of the canal. This is end to end. They had to dig out the canal and they used that for trade and everything. This is super cool because we've walked up and down the Iron Canal a lot. Little view of kind of how it worked. Wheelbarrow from the 1900s. Old scoop shovel. Talks about digging out the canal. Many others got the cholera and malaria. We may now congratulate ourselves on the ultimate success of what was once conceived to be a visionary project. I&M Canal Trustee in 1848. Trolley Theater. What?
Library.
Super cool.
All aboard. Next stop, Cass Street.
Real pictures of back in the day.
Next up, Jefferson Street.
And how vastly different those places are now if you go there today. Streetcars from Joliet from back in the day. Obviously Chicago also had them. They were really big for transportation back in the day. I love old photographs and pictures. As I tell people all the time, I say, you know, national champs. High school, 1924, 25, 26. What is this? Joliet Township High School. Whatever they did, they won. It looks like a band. The perfect flapper. This is what women, I guess, were called flappers back then. And this is how they dressed. Interesting. Office machines. I'm guessing most of these are typewriters type things. Wow, the Arsenal. The place I talk about all the time.
Had to meet the Army's frontier. You had to be at least 200 miles inland from any border to protect it from aerial bombing. It needed to be near a large available labor pool. There was a demand for large volumes of water in the TNT production process. That site had access to the Kankakee and the Des Plaines rivers, three significant railroads that served that property. Major state highways were the avenues to transport in and out.
And wide expanses of relatively flat land would allow for ease of construction.
Prior to the arsenal, it was all privately held land, predominantly farms. The Army mapped out 36,000 acres that they wanted to purchase. That involved 450 different properties and owners.
Farms were acquired, and construction moved quickly, beginning in the fall of 1940 with lines going into production even before building was completed.
The employment numbers at the Joliet Arsenal during World War II reached a high of over 21,000 people. Now that included people not only doing the production of munitions and explosives, but also construction people that were still working.
Women, initially hired only in administrative positions, soon took their place on the production lines as more and more men went off to fight. The Joliet Arsenal was actually two plants located adjacent to one another.
The West Side unit, called the Kankakee Ordnance Works, its mission was to produce high explosives and constituent chemicals that went into it. Those explosives would include primarily TNT.
After the TNT primarily was manufactured on the west side, put on rail cars, and then moved across the Iron Bridge to the east side so it could be incorporated into the assembly of the munitions.
The East Side plant, very different. It was a big production line where you'd start at one end with components and at the other end you'd have a
So this is what they did build there.
primarily aerial bombs and artillery shells.
Artillery and aerial bombs. I thought it was mortars.
Over
All that shit I talked I was dead wrong.
and over 700
Look at
million
that.
pounds of bombs and shells.
Look
in
at
World
that.
War II.
Wow.
The Joliet Arsenal was the largest TNT production facility in the world at the time. After the war, manufacturing ceased. Portions of the plant were leased, and the remaining production facilities were placed in standby status.
Till Vietnam.
The plant was reactivated during the Korean and Vietnam Wars, but soon after the Vietnam War ended, it was decommissioned and maintained.
So this is what they made there. AT-4, we've shot those. Those are those are the things for those. So now we actually know what happened at the arsenal. Look at that. We know what those boxes look like. And they were in the igloo storages for Midwind. Water treatment facilities. Interesting. And then here's a replica of a bomb from the ordnance plant. Obviously, we've seen that. Interesting.
Its mission was to facilitate the reuse of the 2,000 acres Joliet Arsenal operating and position type projects.
And that's how they built those bunker houses. Good luck getting them fucking things down. Got one of those at the house. Oh, that is super cool.
Former military facilities to peacetime uses.
Prior to the arsenal, it was all privately held land.
This here made this trip all worth it. Midwind Prairie, Abraham Lincoln Cemetery. What's this? It says warehouse. Probably just a warehouse around here. MRAP. We drove in those. A land nav for reservists. Good luck with that. Chinook. Look how shitty those shot groups are. I'd fire that guy. I'd smoke his ass and make him shoot again.
The idea was the intermodal would be a huge draw for the warehousing and logistics industry.
That find made it all worth it. Awesome. Now we know more about Midway, not Midway, the ordnance site. I think there's one more floor, which is just the exit area. And then we'll head to the other place.
Can't stop us.
City of Stone and Steel, we all know why. An old bridge, because we made steel here and all that stone. Scientists, I'm guessing, from Joliet, science shit. More shit for space exploration. You can take this road from Chicago all the way to California. One single road. Bunch of cool shit you can see in the area. Actually, here, if you stand here, you stand on 4 states at the same time. Interesting, huh? A little replica of the automobile. An actual picture of the Blues Brothers movie being filmed. John Belushi and some real prisoners. Says he insisted on using real prisoners in the movie. Jake and Elwood. Nice picture. Autographed them both. Don't sit on us. We're on a mission from God. Awesome. All right, off to the next place.